Let's cut straight to the point. You want to build at least a 10K per month content agency in 2024, but you want to do it right. If you're like me, you've gone through countless videos, webinars, and courses, and they have value, but they just don't hit. If that's the case, this video is exactly for you. I'm going to teach you everything from mindset to personal branding, creating your offer, outreach, sales, onboarding, creating a team, and even scaling your content agency. And if you watch till the very end, I show you my exact systems that I use to scale my agency to 6 figures. This is the exact video that you've been waiting for, and this is the video I would have paid thousands of dollars to watch 2 years ago when I started my journey. Before we dive in, let me give you a quick rundown about me and my agency. My name's Nick Lauer and I run the short form empire, and right now as we speak, it's doing just right at $20,000 per month. And I was one of the first official short form video agencies back in the summer of 2022 when I started my journey. I went from charging $100 per client to making $10,000 a week at 18 years old, and now some of my clients pay me at least $6,000 per month. My agency has also been blessed to work with some of the biggest of names. One of my first partnerships were these NFL players, and together we helped them generate 100,000 subs and 42 million short views in just 90 days. With all of that said, I've been in the space since day one, so the value that you're about to receive will stand the test of time against any market. First, let's talk about short form content and short form content agencies. Because if you know the context and the foundation of your industry and the services that you provide, it will go a long way. The deeper the foundation that you have, the taller the building that you can create. Short form videos refer to any videos that are a few seconds long and typically go around 60 seconds max. Now these videos are concise, they have a message, and they're super engaging. You'll see business owners, podcasts, online coaches, entrepreneurs, and really anyone with a personal brand use short form videos. Or maybe they don't use them, which means they're your ideal client, and we'll go through all of that later in this video. Now most short form videos have captions, B-roll, sound effects, music, and so much more to keep the viewer engaged. Ultimately, short form content is content that can be easily consumed. It captures a targeted viewer, it retains their attention, and typically funnels them into something else. Now the video could be funneling into following the page or liking more content, or possibly funneling to the actual services that the page provides. For example, if I made a short form video that was 30 seconds long and I said, here's the 5 best ways to outreach for your content agency, it would be concise, it would probably grab your attention, retain you all the way through, and you would probably go to my page and see if I had some type of community or more videos with value. So now that you have a better idea of what is short form content, let's dive into what is a short form content agency and what can you offer. In the late 1840s, hundreds of thousands of people rushed to California for this one thing, and this was gold. But statistically, the ones who thrived were not really the people that were chasing the gold. It was the ones who were providing the pickaxes and shovels to extract the gold. And this same exact concept applies today. Everyone is chasing views, followers, and ultimately monetization for their business. But the issue is that it's time consuming, it takes a lot of creativity, and there needs to be a content machine working for them. So the pickaxes and shovels of today is content creation. And this is where you come into play, because businesses are chasing to grab everyone's attention. And attention is the new oil, and you have the tools to extract that oil. Now, the better the tools that you have, the more value that you can provide. And my friend, money is just a mutual exchange of value. Now, keep in mind, during the gold rush, not only was there a competition of who could get the most gold, there was a competition between the suppliers of the pickaxes and shovels of who could make the best pickaxes and shovels. So it's your job to stand out and build the strongest content agency. Now that you have a better idea of what is short form content, what is a short form content agency, let's talk about the most crucial aspect when building a 10K per month content agency, and this is mindset. Mindset is a crucial aspect to starting, scaling, and sustaining a successful content agency. Surrounding yourself with the right people is pertinent, and that actually brings me to the sponsor of this video, and it's my very own Short Form Kings community. This is the biggest and greatest community for short form content agency owners. There's in-depth videos, we have multiple calls a week with special guests, there's a marketplace within the community where you can hire editors for your agency, and there's so much more, so click the link below to join. Now, surrounding yourself with winners and people that are dominating the space will just push you to be greater and greater. This week alone, as I was preparing for this video, between 5 of my students, in just 2 days, they made over $10,000 with their agency. And if you include me within that pot, we've made over $20,000 in 2 days. This is why community and competition is so important, because if one person learns and one person fails, you all learn together and grow. Now, as you surround yourself with the right people, you need to be aware of limiting beliefs. The best thing you can do is wake up every single morning, look at the mirror, tell yourself you're gonna be great, you're gonna build a 10K per month content agency, and you're gonna provide so much value to people and help them grow their business. Because the more you say something, the more you surround yourself with it, the more you will attract and become everything that you want. Trust me guys, this is how I went from charging $100 per client to the next month moving into a high-rise apartment at 18, and I saw 5-figure weeks. That's $10,000 a week, all at 18. You have the ability to achieve and become anything that you want. You just have to chase, create, and surround yourself with the best opportunities. Now, the last part of mindset is to stack your wins. I don't care if you're making $100, $1,000, or $10,000 deals. You need to be grateful and acknowledge every single win that you have. If you don't, you'll just get in the habit of always wanting more and chasing, and you'll never be grateful. So when you have a win, even as small as just booking your first call, then celebrate and ride that momentum. Now we're gonna talk about what you can offer, and I'm gonna break it down to you as easy as possible. Your offer is simply the niche that you help, the desired outcome that you help them achieve, plus the service that you provide. For example, you could say, I help real estate investors grow their personal brand or 2x their viewership by editing, filming, and helping them with their content ideas. So what exactly can you offer and how much can you charge? The main things that you can offer is video editing, content ideation, account management, and in-person filming. In regards to video editing, there's so many styles that you can use in different qualities of styles. But keep in mind, AI is getting a little bit better every single day, and a lot of people resort to AI captions just because it's a quick and cost-efficient fix. When I started my short form content agency, I could charge $2,000 for 30 Alex Hormozi captions, but now AI can do that in just 10 minutes. However, everything that I'm teaching you in this video will stand the test of time with AI. If you want your content agency to be your main gig and you want to keep it above 10K per month, then I do not recommend to keep editing as your main offer. You need to be so valuable that you cannot be replaced. So not only can you offer video editing and different qualities of the editing, you can also offer content ideation. There are so many people that just don't have the time, energy, or knowledge to create content ideas. So you can come in and assist them and provide more value. Now, content ideation can be in the form of weekly or monthly consulting calls, or you can use tools like ChatGPT to create viral hooks and scripts for them to use in their video. I realize some of you haven't been in the space or have the same content knowledge as I do, so I would highly recommend just helping them with strong viral video hooks instead of coaching them. That way you can provide them with a solid foundation and they can just keep building off of it by providing their knowledge within their industry. And oh, by the way, I have hundreds of viral hooks you can use in the short form Kings community. So we've made the videos look great with high quality editing. We're helping the client with content ideation. Well, another thing you can do is account management. Believe it or not, there's thousands of businesses, coaches, and podcasts that just do not have the time or energy to post on their accounts. Now, account management can look like a few things. One, you can post for them. You can also create the description and hashtags when you post. You can respond to their comments and DMs and a few other things as well. If you offer account management, then what I highly recommend is that you just offer content distribution on all the platforms. So what you do is you usually come up with the description and hashtags for the videos, and then you post it on TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook Reels, and YouTube Shorts for the client or whatever platform they suggest. Now, responding to comments and DMs are great, but you don't want to spread yourself too thin. If you can build a trustworthy team and a team that you really rely on, then I would delegate the work that way. I've worked with about 60 clients and maybe only 5 of them needed content redistribution, but I was the one in their accounts posting for them, no one else. But content redistribution is not a fun service to provide when you have a lot of clients because it gets too messy and you spread yourself too thin. And you might ask, what about the third-party apps where I can just upload the content and it'll shoot it out on all the platforms? You can use those, but from my personal experience, what I've found is that these social platforms like to shadow ban those videos because they want you to use the in-house app. I will get into the pricing structure next, but when I was posting content for my clients, I made sure I charged them at least $2,000 per month. because you have to know your worth. One of the last services that you can provide, which I believe is one of the best services, this is in-person filming. Remember, the more value that you provide, the more money that you can charge. And believe it or not, I was highly against in-person filming for the longest time. I had these limiting beliefs thinking that, oh, I could only get clients from cold DMs. Once I overcame that, I've now probably made over $50,000 this year alone from in-person clients. It's also nice to get out and build relationships with people and learn more about their industry. In-person filming can mean a lot of variables. You can provide 10 in-person shoots or 20 videos or 30 videos, whatever it may be. You'll just have to see what the client wants and what fits their needs. Now, one strategy that one of the guys in the Short Form Kings community uses is he films a podcast for a client. So he films the podcast, he edits it, and he also creates short form videos out of it, and he charges that client $4,000 per month. There's been a few months where I only had 2 clients on the in-person filming package, and I was making $9,000 a month just off of those 2. And this service is really applicable to anyone. I've done online coaches, fitness influencers, real estate investors, lenders, developers, entrepreneurs, and so much more. Now, keep in mind, when you're doing in-person filming, you're technically offering content consulting and coaching at the same time. Because if I were you, I would help them with their setup, how they're talking, how they look in front of the camera, all of those things. And in regards to equipment, no, you don't need thousands of dollars worth of cameras and microphones. As long as you have an iPhone 13 Pro or younger, and then a decent microphone, and maybe you can invest into a gimbal to look more professional, you'll be completely fine. Even now, sometimes that's the setup that I use. I've never had a client had an issue with it. So with all that said, the least that you can offer is editing, but you can also add coaching and consulting, content management, and in-person filming. Now that you know what you can potentially offer, let's talk about pricing. Whether you're just starting your short form content agency or you've been doing it for over a year like I have, having a solid pricing structure will either make or break your entire agency. When I first started my agency, I was charging $100 for 10 videos, but now over a year and a half plus, I'm charging at least $1,000 to $6,000 for 10 videos. Now, the way that you price your services will change over time because it really relies on your offer. But remember, the more value that you provide, the more money you can charge. And I recommend solving rich people problems. They pay a lot better and they don't ask a lot of questions. As I said earlier, the least that you can offer is short form video edits and different qualities of that editing. So if you offer AI quality edits or even Alex Hormozi captions, you can get away with charging maybe $200 to $800. And this is for about 10 to 20 short form videos. Now, if you want to stand out and charge super high prices like I do, then you have to invest into a higher quality editing team. So if you offer high quality short form videos just like these right here, you'll be able to get away with charging as low as $500 to over $2,000 for 10 to 30 short form videos. But keep in mind, posting 30 short form videos a month is a lot unless you're a podcast. So I recommend focusing on less videos and more value. And the value can come within the video editing, but remember, it can also come within the content management and the content ideation. So now instead of charging just a few $100s for 10 edits, you can provide 10 edits and content coaching, and you should be charging at least $1,000 for that offer. And as you package and pitch your services, you can either keep it all under one umbrella or charge separately. For example, you could say, hey client, it's $5.99 for 10 short form videos and an additional $4.99 for content coaching. Or just say, hey client, for 10 short form videos and content ideation and coaching, it's $9.97. To give you more context, I had a client that was on a 3-month minimum retainer, and I charged them $2,500 for 30 short form videos a month, content consulting, and redistribution on all the short platforms. Fortunately, we grew them over 30,000 followers and over 4 million views in just 45 days. Lastly, if you provide in-person filming, you can create high profit margins and you'll increase the lifetime value of your client. When I offer in-person packages, I never charge under $1,000. And feel free to throw in different deals if the client is signing on a longer retainer or they want fewer videos or more videos. You can throw deals at them and test different prices. Obviously, I didn't go from charging $100 per client to $6,000 per client overnight. It took time. So it will take time to test different offers and pitches and prices, but you'll finally get a better grasp of it and be able to sell it like crazy. Once you have a grasp on mindset, what you're offering, and how much your services cost, you should now focus on personal branding. Listen, your content's your billboard, so the more times you post, the more places you post, and the more value that you provide, the more likely you'll stand out and you'll be more top of mind. When you're reaching out to potential clients, you don't want to have no profile picture, 25 followers, and a picture of your dog. You have to practice what you preach, so create videos and posts showing your personality, your credibility, and one day your authority within this industry. Now keep in mind, there's dozens, if not hundreds of short form video agencies out there now. So how in the world do you separate yourself apart? It's as simple as just being yourself. People don't care how much you know unless they know how much you care. Anyone can go watch Alex Hormozi's videos or even my videos and just copy the script. So make sure your content is unique. And despite what other people say, you don't have to be posting 2 videos a day talking about the best call to actions and the best hooks and how to go viral. It's not attractive anymore. What's attractive is authenticity, personality, and your knowledge. It's all about the know, like, and trust factor. So talk about your failures, your successes, the things that you're learning, the journey that you're going through. And if you really want to stand out, then get out of your comfort zone. Go on podcasts, interview local entrepreneurs. You have to go out and be creative, create content that is true to you. Don't be a bot that just wants content to get clients, to get views, to get dollars. Make content to give because you get what you give. Remember, your content is your billboard. So if you're going to networking events and getting people to follow you, or you're cold DMing people, keep in mind how they perceive your profile is how they're going to perceive your entire business. First impressions are everything. Content creation is a crucial aspect to personal branding, and it's literally what you're providing to your clients. So if you get stuck on a few ideas, there's a few content pillars that you can follow, such as entertainment, value-based content, educational, personal videos, testimonials, interviews, podcasts, collaborations, all of the above. I promise you, the more creative that you are, the more you'll stand out and the less likely you'll get burned out, especially if this is your passion. When I started my journey, yes, I was posting a lot of short form videos, but now I talk about my success, my failures, things I'm going through in life, but also I sprinkle in my expertise. People are investing into you, so if they like what they see, they're more likely to invest into your services that help them grow. Now, don't get me wrong, if you really niche down and you're crushing it in some lane, there's nothing wrong with consistently pushing out so much content that's targeted to that industry. Personally, I see your content and your Instagram pages as a resume, and I know for a fact I'm not going to be posting, creating short form videos for fitness trainers my entire life. So that's why I follow the strategy that I'm teaching you. It's way more personal. So make sure you optimize your profile by adding a profile picture, a bio about you and what you do, and start posting content about you and your journey. As you start to get comfortable in front of the camera and you optimize your profile, that means it's now time to do outreach. There's so many ways to do outreach, but for this video, I'm going to show you cold Instagram DMs, custom Loom videos, YouTube prospecting, and in-person networking. All right, so now your Instagram, your personal brand is completely primed. Well, what that means is that it is time to do outreach. Now, once again, we just talked about optimizing your personal brand. You need to have a decent bio talking about who you are, what you do, maybe your website in the bio, a decent profile picture. Don't have a profile picture where it's you in the mirror or someone can't tell who it is, or don't do no profile picture because no one will know who you are. So make sure you take care of all that and you start posting some videos, some photos, so people know, like, and trust you. They know about your journey, they know about your expertise, they know about your personality and your authenticity. Because keep in mind, if you're DMing them, say I DM you right now and you look at my account, you're like, oh shoot, okay, well, this kid runs a short form agency, he's around some cool people, he has some cool value. I trust him a lot more than the guy that has no personal brand. And once again, it's going to take time. It's going to take time to collab with people, grow your following, but empires are not built overnight. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to show you one way in which you can find potential clients on Instagram, because I'm a firm believer the best way to get clients is through cold Instagram outreach, just because of the way in which you can build your profiles and the way in which you can find prospects, and also the way in which you can outreach to them. Instagram has one of the best direct messaging systems on any social platform, because I see all the direct messages people send me, good and bad, but not every platform you can see like that. So what you want to do, and I usually do outreach on my phone. It's a little bit different on desktop. So what you want to do is you want to go to the search bar. Now keep in mind, Anyone can use your services. Entrepreneurs, online coaches, podcasts, businesses, anyone with a personal brand can use content ideation, can use editing, account management, whatever you may supply to them. So you want to go to the search bar, and let's say the niche in which you want to target is New York real estate agents, or really any real estate agents. But I think it's a lot better to stay a little more niche, especially when you're doing prospecting. You're just focused on one niche for the day. Now already, look at this. We're finding accounts. We're finding potential clients. All these are potential clients. Let's do this one, for example. This is a real estate team. So cool thing about this, guys, is there's layers upon layers upon layers. Let's say you find a decent real estate team. Well, looks like they have one short form video, maybe more. What you can do is either you can reach out to the entire branch, or you can start seeing who is part of their team, who are they tagging, go on their website, find individual realtors and their contact information, and start hitting all of them up. Remember, this is about opportunity costs. Think of the opportunity cost of reaching out to one team or one business versus the individuals. Well, the opportunity cost is maybe someone runs their social media and they don't want some guy coming in and taking over all their real estate agents. That could be the opportunity cost. Or getting into the front guy could be the door to getting into everyone and doing content for all of the team. Now, another way in which you can do it is you get in with one person, and I've seen this work better, but it takes a little bit longer to grow and get that trust and get more clients from the team. But you get in with one person, usually it's the youngest or the most socially inclined, because there's a lot of older real estate agents. You work with them, you do your best job, and then you either ask for a referral after you've executed like crazy, or they'll be keen to refer you to their team anyways, because everyone's gonna be like, why is your content so good? How do I get this? And then you can create some type of referral system. Now, I don't wanna go too deep into that, but you can offer cash, you can offer free content, whatever it may be. I think cash is the best way to go in my opinion. But let me show you more. So once again, we're going through this, we're finding New York real estate agents, we're finding great accounts. Here's another guy, or this is a photography account that does content for real estate agents. But what you'll see too is some commonalities. When we go through these, you'll start seeing hashtags. Hashtag New Jersey real estate, hashtag New York real estate. And you can go down and down and down and down the rabbit hole to find clients. Listen, there are so many clients out there. You do not have to be worried. There's tons of people out there. Look right here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 to 12 people right here that you can hit up and you can DM them. Now, in regards to DMing, there's tons of different scripts you can use. I have a lot of these in my community. What I would do when I DM them, and I can't show you because you'll see a lot of my clients and friends in which I network with, is I would do something simple as, hey, are you in real estate? Or, hey, how long have you been in real estate? Or, hey, my name's Nick Lauer, I'm looking to connect. Or you can straight up pitch their services. Remember, volume negates luck. So you have to try different things. You can get a virtual assistant, which I tell you about later in this video, to pump out different scripts in which you can use. But once again, I have tons of scripts you can use within the community, and it takes testing. Remember, it also depends on how optimized your profile is. If you have a really killer profile, something that looks like mine or maybe better, you can probably just text them, hey, I have a quick question for you. And they'll be like, yeah, let me know. But keep in mind too, if you do that type of route, people will think you are interested in their services. So you got to just be careful with that and navigate it. Now, keep in mind too, you don't have to do real estate. There's so many opportunities out there. You could even just type in chiropractor. Chiropractors need content. In fact, they do really well because of the aesthetic and people getting their back cracked all the time. So there might be a lot of memes and stuff too in here as well. So once again, you just got to go through and filter and find the right ones, and then you can reach out to them. So once again, online coaches, business owners, entrepreneurs. We'll do a good example. We'll do fitness coaches. Now, I don't like working with fitness coaches. I've done it for a long time. In fact, I want to say earlier in 2023, about 13 of my clients, 10 to 13 were all online fitness coaches. But once again, you can look around. Another good thing to look for is for Canva graphics. Why are they using Canva graphics? Why are they not making videos? Those are people that you could potentially invest into. Let's find a good one. Here's a potential client right here. Or maybe this is a theme page, once again, or a graphic designer page. You got to look out for all that stuff, and you've got to filter through all of it. But let's do this, for example. I can tell this is a little bit normal. So boom, you find her, you go to her account. I accidentally just followed her. But you see, okay, she is posting short forms, so she does know what's up. Maybe you could hit her up and offer better editing, better ideation. I don't know, it doesn't hurt. But you might run into some fitness coaches that you'll just see posts like this or testimonials, and they're not optimizing and using short form videos. Now you may ask, Nick, they don't know how to do short form, or all the fitness coaches are using it. That's not correct. One of my boys that lives in Miami is a huge fitness coach. He's probably coached some of the biggest names, some of the influencers you guys watch on live streaming platforms, and he just started utilizing short form videos this year, 2023, late 2023. So there's still a lot of gems and diamonds out there. You just have to network, send DMs, but keep in mind too, guys, like DMs is not the only way to do outreach. Say you want to hit the fitness industry, well then look at local fitness events going on and go to those events and start networking and getting your face out there. Once again, volume negates luck. So this is just a really good way how you can use prospecting tools on Instagram. You can do hashtags, you can just search it in the search bar, filter it to the Reels tab. If you want to hit your geographical location, you want to stay close knit, you want to get your face out in your community, then once again, say you live in New York City, then type in New York City chiropractor, New York City fitness coach, whatever it may be. So this is the Instagram prospect part of it. Now, I told you I was going to teach you about cold looms. Now, cold looms can look like completely different things. You could be doing cold looms on someone's website and trying to get them to do short form, or you're looking at their YouTube channel and you're talking about it, or you're looking at their Instagram. Well, what I'm doing right now literally is a cold loom. Well, not a cold loom, but I'm doing a loom, going over her account and telling her what needs to be optimized, what needs to look better. So what I would do, my best advice, especially is if you can talk to the camera and you have fluent speaking and you can get your message across of how you can help them, is I would start DMing them and start a conversation, just like I showed you a second ago. Hey, are you an online fitness coach? Or hey, how long have you been doing it? Or hey, I see you're doing content or not doing content, and start the conversation. And then what you can do is you can say, hey, would you be opposed to me making a free 3 to 5 minute video talking about how I could help you grow and show you suggestions that I have about your account? Now, you don't make the video ahead of time, because now you're going to be making hours and hours of videos when people might not even open your DM or read it. So what I would do is I would ask that question, or you could say, hey, I made a free 3 to 5 minute video talking about your account, how I can help it grow. Would you be opposed to seeing it? Now, keep in mind, you didn't make it already, because the goal is to get them hooked. Now, the second they're hooked, you need to go and make that video ASAP and send it to them. So that's one way you can do a loom. Now, in regards to the structure of the loom, I'm just going to go back to my profile so you don't have to stare at her. In regards to the structure of the loom, there are many ways you can go about it, but this is a structure that helped me land my first client and 4 clients thereafter doing cold looms. First and foremost, I said, thank you for taking the time to watch this video. Because remember, we're all busy, especially me being an actual business owner now. I now understand where those people were when I was trying to pitch them all the time. Last thing they're thinking about is a kid and a guy pitching them in the DM. So you say, first and foremost, just want to say thank you for taking the time to watch this video. What I'm going to do real quick, I'll keep it under 5 minutes. I just want to show you what I see, what I do, and how I could potentially help you out. So what you do is you kind of go through their profile and you compliment their profile. We're not here to tear them down. We're here to hype them up. We're here to tell them that they've done a good job. They've worked very hard, because they have. So you knock that out, and then you tell them a little bit about what you do, or you can tell them a little bit more of constructive criticism. Hey, have you tried this? Would you be opposed to doing this? Or once again, you can just dive straight into what you do and how you could potentially help them. So you say, hey, thank you for taking your time to watch this. Hope you're doing well. I'm going to keep this under 3 to 5 minutes. Then you dive into their account. Hey, I love how you posted this video on the yacht, or this video of how to do squats. So what I do is this, X, Y, and Z, and this is how I could see it potentially helping you out. Blah, 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 and then you wrap it up. Say thank you for taking the time. If you have any more questions, please let me know. If you want to see more, let me know. If this interests you, would you be opposed to booking a call? Those are all different terminologies in which you can use to in the Loom videos. Now, once again, just because someone says they want to get a Loom video from you doesn't mean they're actually going to watch it. So once again, opportunity costs. You can do cold DMs, you can do Looms, all these things. Volume negates luck. The more you try, the more opportunities and innovation will come your way. Now, the last outreach method I want to show you, which this isn't the only one, there's dozens of outreach methods, is YouTube prospecting. This is actually how I landed my first client ever last year, was from YouTube prospecting plus the cold Loom. What I did, and I'll show you in a second, is I found YouTube channels in certain niches, found their email, I scraped it, and then I sent a cold Loom attached with a body and a paragraph, and it literally led to me landing my first client. The client that I landed, he watched the video. Within an hour, he had a sales call with me. I closed him and he fired his short form team that he had before. It was because of the confidence and the value that I showed that I could potentially provide to him. So I'll show you exactly how I did that. Okay, so let's say you want to start scraping from YouTube and you want to send emails or cold Looms. Well, what you'll do is you'll type in the industry, what you're looking for. Are you looking for podcasts? Are you looking for coaches? Are you looking for finance gurus? Whatever it may be, you type it in. There's dozens out there. Also, peep out this super dope account. If you haven't watched any of these videos, there's a lot that I believe could be super valuable for you. But anyways, you type in the niche, whatever it may be, and there's tons right here. Now, keep in mind, you can filter it to channels if you'd like. Tons of channels. Now, what you want to do is go to the channel, then you go here and press view email address. Now you have to submit that you're not a robot, go through all this fun stuff. Boom, submit, give it a second, and there you go. You have his email right there, guys. It's literally given to you. So what you want to do is copy that email, then go to your Gmail, and make sure your Gmail is warmed up. You don't want to start a Gmail that second and then start sending emails. It's most likely that your email will be put into their junk. Now, if you want to warm up an email, that's a whole nother tutorial. But what I used was Gmass, where it was sending out dozens, if not hundreds of emails a day to warm up my account. So once you get his email, once again, which I showed you how to do, you send an email, and you can either do the same strategy. You either go ahead and make a Loom going over his account, or you ask him and start conversation. What I did to land my first client is I went over his account. I made a cold Loom. I spent 15 hours of making Looms after Looms after Looms after Looms, and I would go through his shorts and honestly critique his editing, critique the way in which he approached this and that. But once again, this was a different time. This is when everyone just started doing short form, so there wasn't like a really clear path on what to follow. So I would go through this and tell him what I could do. Now, once again, I was very arrogant. I'll be transparent. I was very arrogant and confident, saying, hey, I will come in and make your editing better. My team can do this. We will do this. We'll get you to this, and this. Now, once again, that could come with time. That comes with your own self-confidence. But this is another way in which you can find clients. But yeah, that's how you can find YouTube clients. Keep in mind too, you can go here, find their name, find them on Instagram, DM them there. Guys, there's so many opportunities, and this is just Instagram and YouTube. There's Instagram cold DMs, there's Instagram warm DMs, there's so many different opportunities. There's LinkedIn, there's Facebook, there's all these different platforms. There's even Twitter you can get clients from. All these platforms you can use, but these were the two that I want to show you that I've landed most of my clients from. But I no longer really do cold outreach. I usually just do get inbounds or have referrals or just go out to local networking events to get clients, just because my page is so optimized and I've done it for so long. I have my systems in which work. So these are the different outreach methods in which you can do. It is pretty surface level as well. I didn't go deep into the scripts, but yeah, there you go. It's time to talk about money, because now you'll be booking calls or in-person meetings and you need to know exactly how to close the client. Sales is one of the scariest yet most rewarding parts of an agency, especially if you're just getting started. Now, sales isn't some difficult code or Rubik's Cube that you're trying to solve. It's actually a pretty simple process. Most of you are in different stages. Either you've already booked calls, you've closed clients from calls, or you've never had a booked call before. Well, what I'm about to teach you will help you no matter what stage you are in your agency. Sales is simply helping people make a decision to go towards their desired outcome. You're simply taking them from point A, which is a lack of editing skills, creative ideas, and account management, and you're taking them to point B, which is their desired outcome. They want high quality edits, they want content coaching and help with their ideas, and they also would love to have the content all managed for them. Whatever the service is that you are providing, you're simply taking them from point A, bridging them with your services, and taking them to point B, that desired outcome. Here's a simple 3-step process that you can follow when you're selling your services. Number 1, understand exactly where your client's at. Then number 2, see exactly where they want to go. And number 3, try to figure out what exactly is holding them back from that desired outcome. The more information you get from them, the more leverage and ammo you have just in case they have sales objections. Because I promise you, not everyone will be 100% ready to buy your services. Now that you know the basics about sales, let's say you booked your first call and now it's time to pitch your services. Well, I'm gonna give you an exact step-by-step process that you can follow. Now, there's a lot of sales scripts and videos and processes that you can follow, but this process that I've been following, I've been doing it for over a year and I've made over 6 figures with it as a teenager. In a sales call, you need to always have the leadership position and be able to control the call. So this is one of the very first things that you need to say when you hop on the call. Hey, client name. So my goal for this call is to see if we're a good fit to work together, and by the end of the call, come to some type of decision if we will or will not work together. And if not, I'll see if I can provide some type of value for you to help you get to where you want to go. Does that sound fair? And when they agree to that, then you can start the small talk and start building rapport. And one of the best things you can do before the sales call is do research on the potential client. Go to their website, go to their business, go to their social media, see what accomplishments have they done. Maybe see where they live or recent vacations they've been on. The reason you do this is just to show that you have some type of interest about them. And more likely than not, you'll see that you have a common ground with them. Then it opens that barrier and it shifts the conversation into building relationships instead of, oh, I'm here to get your money. After you take a few seconds to build the rapport, now shift the conversation into figuring where exactly is the client at? What exactly are they struggling with? Why did they book a call? Or what about your services intrigued them? You're pretty much a doctor in sales. Your job is to diagnose the issue and then provide a solution for the issue. By this time, you should have your offer and price solidified, but keep in mind, there's going to be some situations where the client might want more videos or less videos or different things that you'll have to plug and play that aren't completely molded to the services in which you've created. So be ready to adapt and pitch different prices. Now, as you're diagnosing the problem, there's a few key phrases that you can use to help the client figure out where they are, and it gives you more leverage to sell them. So let's say the client has no time to edit, they have no editing skills, and they have no time to post. Then what you'll say is, so what I'm hearing is you need high quality videos and you need someone to post on your account for you. Is that correct? Now, once the prospect agrees to the issue, you can now ask them, well, how would this make you feel if the problem was solved? Or how much money could this potentially generate you if this issue was fixed? You will now have a really good idea of what their pain point is and what would make them feel better. And this is where you now pitch your services. So for example, let's say the client wants 10 short form videos a month and they want content management. You would say something on the lines of, perfect, I believe I have 2 packages that would be a perfect fit for you. So list off your 2 packages, list the price, and then say this very key word. Ask them, does that sound fair? Once you do that, you wait for the response. Now, odds are a lot of people are gonna say, yes, that sounds fair. Or some people are gonna sit there and maybe come up with some type of sales objections, and that's usually just because of the price. Now, I'm not gonna go over sales objections because that's actually hours of content I have in the Short Form Kings community. But long story short, your best option is to leverage all those pain points that they have and use it as ammo. You could ask the question of, oh, well, I thought that you were struggling with this and this would solve the issue. You know, is this actually a problem to you? Those are types of questions you can ask, but like I said, there's more information in the community. Now, if it really comes down to that they cannot afford your services, you can either respectfully end the call, or you can offer a paid trial to at least get them in the door. Now, if the prospect is like, oh, in a week or in a month, I'll be ready to do content creation, then what I would do is get them to drop a deposit. Because if you can get them to commit to a small deposit, you'll most likely get the sale a month later, 2 months later, whatever it may be. Now, I'll be honest with you, since content creation is such high in demand, you might not run into a lot of sales objections, but the more value you provide, the higher your prices will be, and you will run into it. But let's say you don't run into a sales objection and the client is just ready to buy your service. All you do is you pitch the service, you say, does that sound fair? And if they say yes, you say, great. What I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna send you the invoice, which I'll show you how in a second. Now you send the invoice to them and you don't say anything else. Don't start some other conversation or get them off track. You send the invoice and you wait until they pay. You have to sit in silence if it comes to it. Once they pay and you get an amazing dopamine rush, this now starts what we call the onboarding process. If you're just starting your agency, then I recommend using Stripe as your payment processor. Here's a quick tutorial for you on how you can send an invoice or you can send a payment link that is reoccurring, especially if you have clients on a multiple month retainer. All right, so real quickly, I'm gonna show you how to use Stripe. This is the payment platform that I've used for over 1.5 years now for my agency, where I send invoices or payment links to my clients to get them to pay so we can then move forward with the agency. So what I'm gonna do with this little tutorial is show you how to create an invoice or how to send a payment link, and I'm gonna show you the two differences. Now keep in mind, there is a lot of sensitive information on this account, so there's a few things that I'm gonna have to blur and some steps that I'm going to have to skip. So if you don't have a Stripe account yet, then what you want to do is start now and go through all of that process. Now, if you're under 18, I don't know all the legalities and whatnot. You'll probably have to create it under your parents, but make sure you're taking care of your taxes and all that stuff. And it's a whole nother field to talk about. So once you either have an account or you create one, you then want to go to your dashboard. Now, once you get into the dashboard, you will not see this. You will see a whole nother home screen where it's going to show how much money you made, your different analytics, whatnot. But if you touch the top right corner, there'll be like a plus sign on the home screen where it says review invoice. Right here, you'll see the plus sign. Then you'll tap on it and you'll come to this. Now, this is how we create an invoice for the client. The only difference with this is the invoice is going to go straight to their email. Now, some clients prefer emails and instead of just typing in the link and all that good stuff. So the only difference really is that it's more professional. They can see the billing address, all that stuff, versus just paying off of a quick link. Now, once you have a customer, you need to have their email, and then you're going to go here, which I can't tap this. I'll create a fake customer because you'll see all my clients. But you'll go here and you'll press add customer, and what you'll do is you'll add the name and then you'll add the email. Okay, so as you can see here, I put in the name. Obviously that's not the right name, but you would put the client's name here and then you would put their email right here. Now, to the right of where you see my face right now is going to be blurred out due to the fact that my address and all that stuff is on there. But what you'll see to the right as you're inputting the next information is there's going to be different things that populate, such as the items and the packages in which you have, which I'll show you next. Now, once again, I can't show you this in detail because my agency packages are in there. Now, if you watch the pricing section of this video, you'll actually get a good taste of what I charge my clients. But anyways, you're gonna press find or add a new item. So when you add a new item, you can name it whatever you want it to be, whether you have specific names for your packages or you just say 10 videos for this price. So let me add something real quick and then I'll show you the next step. So when you go to create an item, or in other words, your packages, you get two options. You can either create a one-time item or you can create a product. Now, the difference between that is the one-time is not going to save within the system. That means you're making it one time and then it doesn't last again. But if you create a product, which is very smart because you can just plug and play, especially when you're on sales calls and you're trying to sell quickly, you can just tap the product. You'll have your packages there. You just input the information of the name and email of the client. Then you tap the package, add item. I do not collect tax automatically. Reason being is because you have to get the EIN number and all this annoying stuff. It's not necessary. Now, the really cool part down here in regards to request payment is when the client is due to pay the invoice. Now, I try to get them to pay as soon as possible, especially if they're paying on the call, then you don't have to worry about that. But say it's some random scenario, then I would just get them to pay by the end of the week. That is when this payment is due. Now, you can auto charge customer. That means you get their actual card information. Some people are weary about that. I don't ever do that. I just request the payment. And then down here, you can include the link to an online payment page. So basically they can tap that link and actually pay through that. Now keep in mind too, an invoice, people might not pay through a link. They might use the information that is on the invoice to pay. Now the memo, I just put something like, thank you for your business, or let's grow through content, something super nice for the client. So they'll see that once they pay the invoice. That's pretty much it in regards to the invoice. I'm now going to show you how to use a payment link, which is what I actually prefer using. It's a lot more simple, and I'll show you the difference. All right, so just like the payment for the invoice, you'll tap the right top hand of the stripe where this is, but on the home page, and instead of pressing invoice, you'll press payment link. Now it's pretty similar, but you'll see the difference here. There's not some real weird fancy invoice. There is just where they can put in their email, card information, and their name. Now, if you don't collect tax automatically, they will literally just have to put in their card info, their name, and they can pay just like that, or pay through Apple Pay just like that. Now, same thing here is you want to find a product and add it there. I'm not going to show you that once again. I will add one real quickly so you can see what it looks like over here. So as you can see here, I added the 10 short form video packages, and fun fact, for some of my clients, this is actually a package I have sold. Profit's not too crazy on that, but it's a nice little buffer to have. So it'll look like this for them. You can put in more information than what I put to explain it. You can add more products. And then down here, there are advanced options. I would not mess with that. But the cool thing with this too is you can actually turn it into a subscription method. Now, in order to create a subscription method, I can't show you all of it because once again, it's going to show all of my agency products, but you need to go back to the home page and create a new product. And when you create that new product, make sure it's on a subscription model. So what this is usually used for is for monthly retainers. Let's say you sign someone for a 3-month minimum, then you can get them to pay the link, but make sure the product is structured where it is a subscription. So for the next 3 months, they'll get charged automatically. You don't have to send a new invoice and chase for it. Now, this is the after the payment method page. So basically, this is just a few settings you can mess with, but this is what they will see after they pay. And this is what it would look like on a phone if they use it. It's not a big deal. But there you go. You can, after that, create the link, and all you have to do is copy the link and send it to your client. So let me paint the picture for you. If you're on a sales call, then what you can do is you can send that invoice, and then you sit and wait. Remember, we don't start random conversations so they get cold feet. If they say yes, it sounds fair, I would love to pay, then you send that invoice. If it's through an invoice, you wait till they get the email, ask them if they received the email, you wait for them to type in their information, and then they pay. Now, if it is a link and you use Zoom like I do, or Google Meets like other people do for their meetings, you simply copy the link. You can have this on a separate page ready to go while you're on the call. You copy the link, boom, drop it in chat, you get them to pay, and then you move forward onto the onboarding process, the full onboarding process. Now, in regards to contracts, they're not necessary for your agency, but you can provide them. Really, the only time I've used it is for high retainers, for clients that were on multiple month minimums, or bigger brands when I had to sign NDAs for their business. Now, as the client has paid, you now need to use a communication software. This is where you will hold the client, send their videos, ask about ideas. This is where all the conversations will move forward. I use Slack for all my clients, and I've never had an issue for it. And for some clients that are a little bit older or super busy, we just text back and forth. Once you get them in the Slack, send them their own personal Google Drive, and this is where you'll have the raw and edited videos for them. This process is super simple, and I've produced thousands of videos with this system, and I'm gonna show you exactly how to do it. Alright everyone, so this is the Google Drive system. Now I am very simplistic and I love to stay minimalistic. That's why I use Google Drive, and this Google Drive system actually integrates into the editing ticket system, which I show you at the very end of the video, and that's how you can assign hundreds of videos, thousands of videos, and make sure there's not one thing missed. So Google Drive, this is what I use for my clients and for their videos. So it's very simple. Let's say I just onboarded today Nick Lauer. We signed him on to the short form empire, to my agency. Well, what I do is I create a drive for them. So what you want to do is you want to go to press new on Google Drive, and keep in mind too, you want to make a Google business account. That's a whole hour's worth of knowledge that I did not go through in this video, but essentially going to make it and tie it to your business and your domain and all that stuff. But anyways, go to Google Drive and we're going to press new folder. Now, what I usually do is client dash their name, or say your agency was called Next Level, then you could say Next Level dash Nick. So client dash Nick, and if you have multiple Nicks, then you can do Nick and their last name, whatever it may be. So now what you're going to do is you're going to go into this folder, and what you're going to do is you're going to press new folder. We're going to create 3 different folders, and I'll tell you why. The first will be raw footage. Boom, there you go. The second will be client assets. Boom. And then lastly is finished clips. Now, the reason I use these 3 folders is, 1, the raw footage. This is where the client is going to send in their content if they film some short form videos. So they're going to upload it to this folder, or they can upload a full podcast, or if your job is to extract the podcast, then you'll take the podcast and put it into here. Now, there's tons of different organizations you can do within this. Maybe you can organize it by month, by day, by project, or by batch. Let's say you sell, a client on 10 videos for 3 months, then you can make a batch 1 folder, batch 2, batch 3, etc. Now, another thing I like to do within each folder, or inside of the raw footage and finished folder, is archive. Now, the reason I do that is, let's say we've edited these first 10, well, then I throw them in the archive, so when we upload, the client uploads the next 10, it's not all confusing and all over the place, okay? So I do that within the raw footage and the finish as well. Once again, I love to stay organized, keep it as simple as possible. I know a lot of other agency owners use these complex systems like Monday.com, all of that. I don't mess with it. I use Slack, Google Drive, and Notion, which once again, I'll show you how to build an editing ticket system in Notion later in this video. So raw footage, I just explained that to you. Let me explain client assets. Client assets is a folder that I highly recommend you offer to all of your clients. What is client assets? Well, let's use the example of your client is a fitness coach. What they should do is they should upload as many photos and B-rolls that they have, whether that's testimonial pictures or videos from their clients. Or let's say they're doing push-ups or squats or bicep curls. Get them to upload as much personalized footage as possible, because what these client assets are going to do, it's going to be a hub, a database of videos and photos that your editors can use in the videos. So let's say Nick is doing a squat, or he's talking about the 3 best ways to do a squat. Well, then what the editor can do is he can go in here and see, okay, there's different videos and photos of Nick doing a squat. Let's use that instead of some random guy, some random B-roll off of Shutterstock. It makes the content more personal, so the viewer can know, like, and trust your client when they're watching the content. So I highly recommend client assets. This is something I even use within my own folders with my editors. I have a bunch of mindset videos, videos of me doing content, and they can just plug and play. And the cool thing is, especially if you have a client for a long duration, the editor in which you assign to the client will be able to understand and learn and develop with the client and the editing style over time. For example, I have one of my longest clients that I have now is probably 6 or 7 months. Well, the same editor has been editing that content since day one. So there's barely any revisions because they know what B-rolls, what captions, what style, all of the above. So these are the 3 folders you want to have. Now, once you create these folders, what you want to do is you want to share the folder with your client, and I'll show you exactly how to do that. So I'm actually not going to tap the get link because it's going to show this one email that I have. But what you want to do is you want to right click on this, then you want to go to share, and you're going to press get link. Now, when you do that, you then want to go through, and you'll see it once you execute this, and change the link from viewer to editor. That way the client can download, they can remove videos, whatever it may be. And you're going to do the same for your editors. And once again, later in this video, I show you how to integrate this Google Drive system into the editing ticket system. So you want to get this link and you want to send that to your client. Usually what I do is when I get the client in Slack, which I've shown you in this video as well, then I drop this link and I pin it to the Slack channel so they can always go back and forth. So there you guys have it, the Google Drive system. This system I've used to produce hundreds, if not thousands of videos for my clients, 60 plus clients, 30 plus industries, and hundreds, if not thousands of videos for podcast coaches, businesses, and so much more. So hope this is helpful, and we'll get to the next part. Right before you sign your first client, or if you're in the process of booking calls, you need to build an editing team. You should never edit the content yourself. Now, granted, there's going to be some situations, especially if it's in-person filming, where you have to manage some of the editing and then offload it to the editors. When I started my agency, I was editing for 4 clients at a time. This was about 4 to 6 videos I was producing every single day, and I was editing them on my phone on CapCut. But these were completely different times back then. Obviously that was draining, so I had to build an editing team and delegate all the work. So let me show you exactly how to find short form editors, what to look for in them, and even how to build efficient systems when you're scaling your team. The 3 best options to find solid editors is 1 through Instagram accounts, then Facebook groups, or you can make a listing on Upwork, and there's one more final weapon that I'll show you at the end of this video. For finding editors on Instagram, it's literally as simple as searching in the search bar short form video editors, or you can say short form content editor. From there, you can go to their accounts, you can follow them, you can like their content, you can comment on it, and then DM them explaining that you run a short form video agency and you're trying to grow a team. The cool thing about it is a lot of them will already have a portfolio within their Instagram bio, so you can kind of get a better idea of the talent and service delivery that they have. The second option is to join Facebook groups for video editors. You can go to the Facebook group search engine and you can type in video editors or hiring video editors, and there should be a lot of groups that pop up. Once you find the groups that you like, you can go in there and make a job listing depending on the rules, or you can find editors that have already displayed their work and you can DM them there. If you really want to be official, have a solid team, and keep the relationship as professional as possible, then I recommend creating a job listing on Upwork. You can add the job title, the expected pay, the turnaround time, all of that stuff. Now, the 4th and final weapon that you have is the Short Form Kings community. I've literally created a free marketplace where editors can display their work, or short form video agency owners can create job listings and hire editors right in the community. Now, as you're doing outreach and you find potential editors to grow your agency, there are a few things you have to look out for and expectations you have to set. The first and probably the most important thing that you need to do is you need to make sure the editor does not run his own agency. The last thing that you want is to give an editor your content and now they're sending it off to 3 other guys. This will get super messy when it comes to expectation, turnaround time, and all of that stuff. I've pretty much had the same editors for over a year now, and I've built a super strong relationship with them. I literally know what hours they're awake, what hours they edit, what hobbies they like, and when they need breaks. You're building an agency. This is an actual business, so you need to treat it like one. The second expectation that you need to have is the expected pay that you're going to give your editors. Now, on average, short form editors get paid around $10 to $60 per video, depending on the style. So as you reach out to these editors, keep in mind your profit margins and what you're willing to pay. And most likely you'll have to negotiate with some of these editors, but that's completely fine. It's all part of the process. The third expectation that you really have to focus on is turnaround time. Remember, you're going to give your client an expectation of when the video is going to be done. Always under promise and over deliver. So the way you can do that is you know exactly exactly when the editor's working on the content, how long it takes. And if I were you, I would leave a 12 to 24 hour buffer just in case revisions are needed. And if there's any issues or red flags with your editors, you need to catch it early. I've literally hired and fired people within the same exact day. Another thing you need to keep in mind is that your client needs to have no idea if there's issues going on with service delivery. These are all internal problems and issues that you keep internal and you solve them yourself. The last expectation, or really a moral ground that you need to create, is you need to treat your editors like they're human. Many of you will hire overseas to reduce your expenses, which is completely fine, but I don't care if you're making $1, $100, $1,000, or even $100,000. You need to treat them like the human they are. So hop on monthly calls with them, see if they have a family, figure out what their hobbies are. Once again, this is an agency, an actual business, so treat it like one. Another team member that you can bring on to your short form content agency is a VA, also known as a virtual assistant. A virtual assistant can be used for many things, but it's typically used for cold outreach. So what you do is you hire a VA to take over your Instagram, your email, your Facebook, and do outreach for you. Now keep in mind, you'll have to provide them with different scripts to use, and you'll test different ones over time to see what works best. You should be able to send about 20 messages an hour, and if you do this for 4 to 5 hours a week, 7 days a week, you're gonna send around 700 messages. And a VA really shouldn't cost you over $500 a month, which in my opinion is a lot of value, especially with the volume that you're putting out. You can cover that entire cost with one deal closed alone. Now, if you offer in-person filming, one of the last team members that you can hire onto your team is someone to help film for you. This isn't a necessity, but over time, if you get a lot of clients, you will want to delegate that work. And finally, in regards to paying your team, I pay my team weekly or after they finish a project. And the two payment platforms that I use for international transaction is Wise and Remitly. Wise is my go-to platform for my agency, and I've sent tens of thousands of dollars through it and have never had an issue. Those two apps are pretty compatible with different countries and currencies, and make sure you pay your editors on time or you're at least communicative with them. This will help grow a stronger relationship with your editor and a stronger relationship with yourself. Now, one of the last things that I will cover in this video is the editing ticket system. And this is probably one of the most important systems that you can have, especially if you're getting a lot of clients. There are dozens of systems I use in my agency, between the ticket system, automation, lead tracking, content ideation, and so much more, but I believe this will be most valuable for you. In fact, I don't think any short form content agency owner has shown this in-depth system before. Today, what I'm going to teach you real quick is how to build an editing ticket system for your team through Notion. Now, you can use different platforms if you want, but I've used Notion for about 1.5 years now. Super easy to use, and it's also easy to help your team to adapt to, because you can literally make a loom just like this, which I'll talk about. So what you want to do is you want to get this exact link, which I will link below. But if for some reason it doesn't work, it's Notion/templates/category/ticketing. What you want to do is you want to pick the support task list Notion template right here. So all you're going to do is tap on it, and then you're going to press, you can view the template if you want, you don't have to, and then press start with this template. Now keep in mind, this ticketing system is so you can keep many things organized, such as when your videos are due, what editors are assigned to it, the Google Drives, the instructions, all of the above. Now, if you're like me, you have multiple Notion plans going on because you've got multiple businesses or partners and whatnot, but whatever your Notion is, just add it to it. I'm going to add it to this one, actually, see what it does. And it's going to add into your Notion. Now, you can see there's already like things put in there, but there's a few things I want you to add, and it might be different for how you adapt to building out your team. But if you tap on this, you'll see a few things. One, you'll see a tag. And tags are basically the different categories that it is in. Now, in my agency, you don't see these right here. You would see something similar to, it's a podcast. So the editor knows if it's a podcast. And then this one would be, you could do short form, maybe just your typical short form, or maybe you have different styles. You could say like Alex Hormozy short form. Another one would be maybe long form into short form, all these different things. And this way you can just categorize. Maybe it's a testimonial. What's another one? I think that's good for now. I'll delete these. So now you have these different types. So when you go to submit the video for your editor, you'll say it's a podcast, just so they know. Or maybe it's multiple. So now status, obviously this is up to you. You can create different levels of what it where it's at. For me, what I do, and you can copy it, you can do new request or potential request, whatever you want to do. If you're like onboarding a client, then you can do new request. Then you can do just started or in progress, whatever you want to say there. Then you can say finished, and then, finished, done. Another one is, let's see, finished, and then you have revisions, because we definitely need those, especially with our editors. And you can add another section that says approved. Let's see here. So if you want to add another section, just add this, new group, say approved, boom, and then you just want to drag it right there. So let's go back to the original ticket. So this is gonna be the name of it. Let's say the name of the client is Nick. Then you can say Nick Lauer or whatever it may be. Maybe you want to say podcast here as well. Whatever you want the editor to see is what you put there. Now the status, you can see here, not started, just started, or in action, finished, revisions. We actually need to switch those. Revisions, finished, approved. Now you can add a priority list to it, but you don't have to, because you have the due date right here. Now let's say the editor gave me, or the client gave me the content today, right? Then why is it in 2019? Hold on. 2023. Boom. Let's say the editor or the client gave me the content today, and I know it needs to be to him and like posted by Friday. Then usually I tell the editor that it's due on Thursday or Wednesday, just so you have a 24 to 48 hour period where revisions can be made if necessary. So keep that in mind. If it's due Friday, like the client needs it and it needs to be posted, you don't tell your editor it's due Friday. You would say a day or two before. So then you would assign it to the 22nd. Once again, you don't need to have the priority tab if you have this right here, and you can figure out all that stuff. Now here, it's gonna say assign. I'm not gonna tap on that because that's actually gonna expose a lot of my editors and business partners that have it in my Notion. But you'll see here, if you press assign, it'll have a drop down and you can assign it to the specific editor, because you might have different editors that can edit different things or different styles or deal with podcasts. And I'll show you how you can share it to them as well. Now, created by me, not a big deal. Honestly, date created, not a big deal either, unless you really want to track like, hey, editor, if they're not on top of their stuff, I submitted this then and I'm not getting it. Now this is a property you want to add, which is very, very important. And that is going to be Google File Drive. This is super important, and I'll show you why in a second. So make sure you add this. And once again, you can organize all this stuff. It doesn't matter what order it's in. So let's say you have a client submit some content, and I'm actually going to go to my Google Drive and show you how I do it for my editors, but we're not going to show my clients. We'll just show one of my folders. So Nick TikTok. Now it really depends on like what it looks like for you and how you use your systems, and there should be another video about the Google Drive system. But let's say this video we did for Gary Vee is the video that needs to be edited. Say this is the raw video. Then I get the link, I make sure it's on editor, and I copy the link, and then I bring it over here and I put it there. So now they have direct access to the Google Drive. Now down here, I know there's a few things that are here, don't need to be there. This is up to you, really. I mean, if there's specific directions where you're like, hey, at 3 seconds, it says seconds there, add this pop up, and then you have a Google Drive link to it, you can do that. Or you can just leave any notes here like client likes Alex Hermosi captions, whatever it may be. You can add any instructions here, and then you can also, if you do the @ signal, which I'm not going to do because it can expose everyone I work with, you can tag your editors in there and add different comments and get them to see that. So let's say, okay, boom, this has not been started. You're going to assign it to your editor, and then what they're going to do is they're going to drag it to just started. And let me delete this so you don't get confused. Now, while your editor is editing this, it's going to sit here, and then when they're done with it, they're going to put it in finished. Now, what you're going to do is you're going to go here, and they should replace it with the finished drive link or add it down here, and you're going to check the video. Check if there's a spelling error, check if there's a B-roll that needs to be fixed, whatever it may be, okay? And if there needs to be a revision, then you're going to drag it to revision, and you're gonna delete whatever instructions were there before, you know, say revisions, and sorry, I cannot type. And then, you know, down here, what I do is like at 3 seconds, it should say walk in the park, not walks in the parks, whatever the revision may be. That you need to make sure it's apparent for them. And you can say at 3 seconds, add this, whatever you need to do, and then you can tag them as well if you need to. Now, once they do it, your editor should drag it back to finished. Once they finish the revisions, you can check it, then you can put it to approved. Now, you can let all the approved sit here over time, but usually after a week or two, I will take the approved and then put it into no status, which should be an archive folder. Hold on. You can create an archive folder where they can all go into right here under no status. So now you don't really see it. So this is the editing system that I've created. I mean, there's different ways that you can look at it, whether it's like task related, by type, by assignee, but I usually look at it like this. So now you can have multiple editors and multiple systems going on all at the same time, and not get overwhelmed and like mad at an editor, like why isn't this done? Like all expectations are set and there should be no questions asked, and this will help you stay organized and see, you know, where's this video at, what's the timeline on this, and just set all these expectations. And remember, when you get a video from a client, try to implement it into this system as soon as possible. Don't wait a day, like get the content going, all that good stuff. And like I said, mine looks a little bit different with like people assigned and tons of assignments going on. But once again, I can't show you that just because it will show my inner team. Also here, obviously you can change this. I name mine editing schedule, editing schedule, add whatever emoji you want to do. And also you can add any very clear instructions you have for your editors, but you really don't have to if you make a Loom video just like this showing them how to use it. But if you're really strict and want like the name of it to like say Nick_podcast1, you can put all those instructions here. But that's pretty much the editing system that you can build inside of Notion to keep your editors concise, keep them organized so they can know what's due, when it's due, how it's due, if it needs revisions. And that way you can simply just text them and say, hey, check the Notion, I updated it, instead of like having 50 WhatsApp channels and all this stuff. Now, I will say, I mean, we all know that with editors, it can get fishy sometimes, especially if you don't have a strong relationship with them. Thankfully, I've had mine for about 9 months now. But if you want, you can make multiple ones of these and assign it to each editor. That way, so they're not seeing like other clients or other editors you have. Now, once again, this depends on the team and family you've built and trust. But if you want to be safe, you can make multiple ones and do it that way. Now, I think I got to be careful with this as well. Yeah, so I'm not going to show you too much, but say you want to invite your editors to the thing. You'll want to publish to the web and then allow editing, whatever, allow comments, and you can send the link to them. And then also you can share by inviting to them, and you put in their email here and invite them to the workspace so they can work on it and be in here. And once again, if you make multiple ones, you can do separate different things. So once again, it's as simple as going to this website, going to support task lists, uploading it, and then changing some of these things, and you should be good to go. I've been using this system for 9 months now. We've produced hundreds of videos, if not thousands. Never had an issue with it as long as you keep communications with the editors. They're happy, they're healthy, you treat them like they're human, and you should be good. My hope for you guys is that you now have the tools and knowledge to build a 10K per month short form content agency. This space is not oversaturated despite what other people say. Remember early in this video, I told you about 4 to 5 of my students made $10,000 in just 2 days. So with that said, attention is the new oil, and there's a lot of people that have no idea how to extract that oil. So capitalize on the people that have no idea how to do it, or the people that already have content, just help them improve it. You are still early, and remember, you're running your own race. There's something special in store for every single one of you. You are called higher. Oh, and if you made it this far, this is just a sneak peek of how much value I'm giving away in 2024. I don't believe in gatekeeping. It took me days, months, and years and thousands of dollars to get where I am right now. I want to help expedite that process for you. So every topic that I talked about in this video, I will be making in-depth videos for every single one of them. And if you want to join a like-minded community with some of the best short form agencies in the game, make sure you check out the link below. I appreciate every single one of you guys. Go out there and build a content empire, and I will see you at the top.